everybody, and welcome to episode 1, or part 1 of our crystal journey.
Yes.
Here on the Wayward Dragons podcast.
Yes. Welcome. So, like Johnny said, we are going to be doing a kind of a crystal mini-series to kind of give you like a crystal kind of 101. So, for that, so that way it's not an info dump, we've kind of spread out the information across several episodes. So in this episode, we're going to be talking about how to properly charge your crystals, how to properly cleanse your crystals, what ones are safe for the sun, which ones are not safe for the sun, and which ones are not safe for the water. And then we're going to talk about some popular or like most well-known red, orange, and pink crystals is what we're going to kind of go into for this. So, besides that, how are you?
I'm good, just making it, dying.
Super congested.
Congestion. Yep.
Super.
Yourself?
I'm okay. It's been a rough week. Mentally. But not necessarily making moves, but making some major decisions on who I'm allowing in my life. Type thing, because toxic is toxic, whether they're family.
Well, I'm still here, so...
You are. You're not going anywhere.
So I'm still questioning your decisions there.
So I almost said this to you. So there's a reel that goes around that I see all the time. And this gentleman goes, you need to do this with your best friend. You can't do this with a spouse, and you can't do this with your partner of any form, sibling. You have to do this with your best friend. And you have to ask your best friend, why are we friends? Why are we friends? And if they're your friend, a true friend, they'll tell you, I don't know.
Hey, that's fair. I was going to give a sarcastic answer and say because we're both extremely mentally deranged and no one else can deal with us.
True. It's very true. But every time I see that video, I go, well, we're both really weird. Like, we're both super nerdy and we're both really weird. Like, and I'm just like, I could not.
Like I said, we're both mentally deranged.
Like, I can't. Like, who else am I going to talk about, like, books and stuff with? Of, like, what the fuck does this mean? Like, have you read this? This is weird. Like that tooth book I read. That was weird.
Right.
I'm like, where does this come from? So there's a book on Audible. I forget the name of the book. But it's kind of like on a young adult. And the talisman is teeth. And it's like 10 o'clock at night. I'm like, Johnny, where the fuck does this come from? Because I have no idea. Why are we using teeth as talisman? Yep. It's a very good book. It's actually a very good in between. But back to our crystal here. So we'll get right into it. But before I get into this is one thing I'm going to say. I'm going to give a lot of information, a lot of things that you can do. You have to find what works best for you when it comes to charging your crystals and cleansing your crystals. There's more than one way to do both. You have to find what works best for you. I do different things than Johnny. Johnny does different things than I do when it comes to how we take care of our own crystals. And I'll tell you when we get to the part what I do for mine. And for the episode kind of notes that go on Facebook and Instagram, I will include a picture of both my crystal shelves that are off of Amazon. So Amazon actually has some really cute, like, crystal shelves. They have a cat one, I think, that I want to get eventually. So first things first, how do you cleanse a crystal? So anytime I order a crystal or buy a crystal from anywhere, I cleanse them before I wear them because I'm a big crystal jewelry wear person. So if the crystal's okay being in water, We'll go over which ones are not okay to put in water at the end before we talk about our crystals. If it's okay being in water, you can run it under some water, like your tap water. That's one of the main reasons why I wear mine in jewelry form, because I don't take them off ever unless it's for my lymphatic massage that I get every other week. So part of it is you kind of hold it under the water and you can visualize like the negative energy kind of, or the negative gunk coming off of it. You can put it in salt water if you want. Some people do that. You can use river water if you have like a form of running water by your house. Some people will put them in a bowl of salt, like sit them in a bowl of salt. I don't particularly do this because of my animals, because they are super nosy. You can smudge them either with a smudge stick or an incense stick. I do both of these. When I smudge my house, which I do on a regular basis, I kind of push the smoke, I guess, towards my stuff. You can also put them near other crystals. So, clear quartz is good for this. Selenite, I say that wrong every time. Those two, thank you.
Selenite.
Those two are good for clearing crystals that are around them. I also heard carnelian, which I don't know about that.
Carnelia?
Yeah, carnelian is good as cleaning. Whatever, just let me have my moment. Okay.
You
I
struggle.
do.
You struggle,
I
man.
do.
I love it. It's fun.
I do.
We all struggle with
Yep.
something.
Yep. If it's not phonetics, it's going to be whatever my heart says it is, and then it's going to be that way for forever. So good luck getting me to change it.
Well, see, the bad part is that if it's phonetics, I'm completely screwed because I can't read stuff phonetically, especially if it's English, because that does not work for English.
No. Some people will bury them in the ground overnight. If this is something that you want to do, I recommend kind of getting a designated like Tupperware and putting them in a Tupperware and kind of remembering where you bury them. So whether that's like under a certain plant every time, like a potted plant, or you put them in one of your potted plants in your house type thing. Just be very aware of where you bury them so you don't forget about them. You can also use sound bowls. I have a sound bowl, but that's not what I use that for. If that's what you want to do. So, how do I charge my crystals? How do I do that? So, a lot of the ways to cleanse them are also ways to charge them. They're kind of weird, like two folds.
Well,
kind of.
a real quick note. You can actually get, this is what I have, it's a selenite bowl.
Yeah, there's some people that do that. Sage Goddess has a video where she has like a selenite bowl and she fills it with, I think, salt and puts all her crystals in it. Yeah, because I have on each one of my shelves, I have a selenite stick and I've got it like kind of in the middle of the whole shelf thing on each one. So, and I've got clear quartz. Clear quartz is so, I've got so much of that. Because my preferred is if I'm wearing it, I'm gonna run it under the water while I'm taking a shower, obviously. But I like using my smudge stick or an incense stick. That's my preferred method. So how do you charge them? So if they're okay with being in the sun, you can charge them in the sun. I would not put them in direct sunlight though. Just because it is crystal and you don't want anything to like catch on fire in your house. If they're not okay with being in the sun, you can use moonlight. You can use any part of quarter full or waning moon. I use both of these, and you'll see in the pictures of my crystal shelves. Mine are offset. Mine are kind of just outside of my main window in my house for that reason. So that way they're kind of in the indirect light, because I do have crystals on there that are not okay being in the sunlight. You can also bury them to charge them. That's another way that's kind of twofold. You can cleanse and charge. But mainly, you gotta find what works best for you. There's tons of resources on the internet on how to do both. Now, which ones should you not put in the sun? This is they're gonna fade them or damage them in some way. So amethyst, aventurine, aquamarine, birth, Beryl. What the fuck is that? You're on mute. It's like you're talking to me.
Sorry, I didn't want everyone to hear me blow my nose. I forgot. So it's pronounced
Burl?
Burl.
Okay. Citrine. I also saw.
Funnily enough,
Continue.
Yeah, so funnily enough, the main reason why I know about that stone is the fact that I've got a D&D player who that's their druid's name is Burl.
Earl. Sounds like Earl. Burl. Citrine. I also saw
it's
in a couple places that citrine, you don't actually need to charge citrine, which I thought was a little interesting. There are crystals that don't need charged, which I thought was a little shaky. Kunzite, Kunzite, sapphire, fluorite, rose quartz, and smoky quartz. This just means that if you do put them in the sun, they're just gonna fade. It's not necessarily gonna damage them in any way. It's just like your amethyst just isn't gonna be as bright and purple as it normally is. If you have a very deep purple amethyst, it's gonna fade it over time. That's all that means. It's not necessarily gonna take away anything.
Well, and I'll say this in addition to that. Any quartz-based crystal, especially any crystal that is transparent, you don't want to set those constantly in direct sunlight anyways, because there's this amazing thing where when light shines through those, it basically works similar to a magnifying glass.
Yeah, you don't want anything to catch on fire.
And can burn your house down.
Yeah.
You can burn your house down.
Yeah, that's why.
So don't set that stuff in direct sunlight.
No. Or if you are going to put them in direct sunlight, just like put a timer on your phone or something, so that way it's not in direct sunlight the whole day or something, or put it out in the moonlight versus sunlight.
And put something behind it or under it, wherever the light's going to be shining through to, that can take heat.
So crystals that do not do well in water. This is selenite. This will dissolve in water. So please do not put it in water. If you have a bowl, let's say, and it gets a little dirty, just use like a damp towel. Don't like fully submerge it in water. This is something that will disappear. Malachite.
Similar.
Huh? What?
Go ahead.
This becomes toxic in water, so please do not we'll talk about this in a later episode as part of our series, but you can drink if you want to charge water, you can put crystals in water. Do not put this one in water. It will become toxic. Angelite, turquoise, kunzite again, kyanite, cellulite, and labradorite.
Yeah. Well, and
What?
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, if you don't know, if you're not sure whether you should put your crystal in the sun or water, just do your research before you do those things. Or if you're just not sure, just use a smudge stick and the moon. That's what I've always done. Better to be safe than sorry,
Yeah.
type thing.
So similar to selenite, tourmaline
Okay.
should not go in there. It should not go in water either. Uh, and we're gonna be talking about crystalline structures in a later episode, but they have very similar crystalline structures,
Yeah.
and we'll break down.
Yeah. If there's any like salt, if it's something salt in the crystal, do not put that in water. The salt will dissolve. Type thing. So now we're going to talk about just some kind of basics in red, pink, and orange groupings. Whoop. I gotta get my crystal book. So for a lot of this information in these episodes, for the next couple, they all kind of come from two main books. The Encyclopedia of Crystals by Judy Hall. This is kind of like my catch-all book. This kind of gives a big deep dive into each type of crystal, and it also will do a deep dive into each color variety. Because like quartz, for example, quartz has many different colors. And when you come across each color in each color family, she does break it down type in for each color, different variety. And then the Essentials Guide to Crystals by Simon and Sue Lilly. This book will give you like kind of different variations. So like for like first example, I love Carleon, and it's got to be like a Taurus thing because it is one of the crystals for my zodiac because I am a Taurus. It's this beautiful orange, kind of almost orange and red, kind of not swirled together. But I have multiple. So Carleon is good for. I mainly wear it so it keeps me in check with my anger because I can have a short temper when it comes to some of the customers at my job. So that's one of the main reasons why I wear it. But it helps because it does help with your anger and negative moods, nosebleeds, weak memory, blood circulation. So a lot of the crystals in the red and orange like crystal families, red specifically, you have to think what's red in your body, your blood. So it's going to help with a lot of circulation, a lot of hemorrhaging, stuff that kind of relates to your blood and what your blood does for your body. Because it's going to help energize your body. It's going to help kind of clean all the negative stuff out of your body. That's a lot of what the red crystals do. So a lot of the I'm gonna say a lot of the same things. Carleon helps with female reproductive organs, especially when it's that time of the month because you're bleeding. Sorry, I have a hair somewhere and I can't figure out where. Lower back disorders, kidneys, arthritis, headaches. So Carleon was beloved by Egyptians who believed that it assisted the soul in its journey and had great protective powers in the afterlife. They wore it to calm anger, which is what I wear it for. Jealousy and envy. It's a stabilizing stone, but it does have a high energy. So it can cleanse other stones, but you have to cleanse the stone afterwards. If that makes sense. So you're doing double cleansing at that point. So you might as well just
It's like it absorbs
yeah,
it.
it'll absorb that negative energy. It also removes the fear of death, and it will assist in positive life choices. It will help you overcome abuse so that you learn to trust yourself again, and overcome negative conditioning. It also helps if you're a big daydreamer. It helps kind of pull you back into reality. And then if the medical physical shops around you don't have it, Sardonyx, Sardonyx. It does look like Carleon.
Well, that's a new one on me.
I was like, I'm about to show you, but it's fucking backwards when I show you. But in that one, there's also kind of white and gray mixed in with that red and orange. Realgar, and Cinnabar, not Cinnabon, Cinnabar. They're kind of the same. Also dark citrine and orange and ventrine. Yeah. They're gonna do similar things.
Citrine.
Ventrine. So the next one I want to talk about, hold on, I gotta find it, is garnet. So, and when you kind of also do the history of each crystal, when you're kind of looking it up, especially in this encyclopedia of crystals, she also tells you what chakra it's good for. So garnet is good for your base chakra, heart, but it also purifies and energizes all of them. It'll also tell you where to find it, the hardness, the chemistry of it, the planet and the zodiac signs it rules over, and the number. But garnet is used to attract love, dreaming, blood diseases, regenerating the body, metabolism, spinal and cellular disorders, blood, heart, lungs, regenerating of DNA, absorbing minerals and vitamins. It's said to be given, it's good luck if you're given garnet, but it's bad luck if you steal one. 500 years ago, it was used to drive off phantoms and demons. It's a powerful, energizing stone that's going to protect you. It will warn you against potential danger, but it draws harm to enemies. It was traditionally used for engagement rings. Also, like, who wants a diamond anyway? Not me.
Well, I mean, the only reason why diamonds are the engagement ring is because of the Beers family and all that BS. Diamonds are essentially valueless.
Yeah.
Like they really have no intrinsic value.
My engagement ring is a moonstone. Like, yeah.
I feel like that's more appropriate.
My husband did his research. He did his research. Garnet inspires love and devotion. It removes inhibitions and taboos. It opens the heart. This stone can balance the sex drive. Okay, it can attract a compatible partner for sexual healing. Useful in a crisis, garnet is helpful in situations where there seems to be no way out or where life has fragmented or is traumatic. It fortifies your survival instinct, with strong links to the pituitary gland. Garnet simulates expanded awareness, past life recall, and out of body experiences. It can activate other crystals in it, but it can also amplify their effect. Similar stones: ruby, zircon, dark tourmaline, jade. I don't know how to pronounce that. In nephrite, Nephrite. And serpentine,
Sounds right to me.
serpentine. Um, that's if you're going for more like the green garnet. The next one we're going to talk about is jasper. I actually have more than one jasper. I have a red jasper. So I should be taking these out after I talk about them, so that way I don't lose my spot. Sorry. So jasper. This is going to be beneficial for electromagnetic and environmental pollution, radiation, stress, prolonging sexual pleasure, prolonged illness or hospitalization, circulation, digestive and sexual organs, and balancing the mineral content in your body. It's known as the supreme nurturer. Jasper sustains and supports during times of stress and undefies all aspects of life. This stone facilitates shamanic journeys, dowsing, and dream recall. Providing protection, it absorbs negative energy. So this is going to be a stone that you want to kind of cleanse on the regular if this is something you have in your space all the time. It's going to balance your yin and yang. It aligns the physical, emotional, mental bodies with the etheric realm, bringing the courage to get to grips with problems. It encourages.
That's the only reason why I'm here.
Honesty with oneself. It adds to quick thinking, organization, transferring ideas into action. For similar stones, iron quartz and dark carnelian. I have a like red jasper in it. I didn't know there's a bumblebee jasper. It looks really cool. That looks cool.
Huh.
So my encyclopedia gives like a picture. Alright. I gotta go. Alright. So the fourth one we're going to talk about is ruby, because that is a major one. So this one's going to help dynamic leadership, courage, selflessness, heightened awareness, anger, enhanced immunity, helps with exhaustion if you're feeling lethargic, if you're hyperactive. It helps kind of detox your body, blood and lymph nodes. Helps with restrictive blood flow. Ruby is one of the Vendic healing gems and a major protector for family and possessions, being a powerful shield against psychic attacks and vampirism of heart energy. So if you have someone that's literally draining you, this probably would be a good one to wear. This is a major one that has been turned into jewelry. This is a big one that you can find in jewelry. Rings, necklaces, whole 9 yards. Ruby is one of the warning zones said to darken when danger or illness threatens. It imparts vigor to life, but may overstimulate irritable people. It encourages passion for life. It wants you to follow your bliss. And then similar stones would be sapphire, zircon, granite, spinel, and red turpaline.
Spinel.
Um,
So the only reason why I know how to pronounce that one is there's actually this really awesome. So random plug here. There's this really awesome TV show called Steven Universe, where a lot of the main characters are sentient gemstones, and they did a movie and like a little short series spinoff after the main series where there is a character named Espinel, and that's where they get from the gemstones.
Gotcha.
But
yep. I was gonna talk about
shows about,
but well, I guess we'll talk about sunstone. I had red agonite picked, but I was like, we'll talk about more about agonite when we get to the main agonite family. But like, there's red tiger's eye, there's red black obsidian. I guess you could probably say, no, I guess mahogany obsidian would be more brown. Creedite, that looks cool. Helps fractures, torn muscles, and ligaments, stabilizing the pulse. It's named after Creedy, Colorado, where it was first found. It attunes to high spiritual vibration and can be used to clarify channel messages and impressions. It is said to attune to universal wisdom embodied in ancient texts. It enhances spiritual communication. It helps with out-of-body experiences. The next one we're going to talk about is sunstone. That I feel like is a major one that people would know. So this helps with pessimism, self-worth, codependency, self-empowerment, independence, procrastination, depression. If you're affected by like seasonal depression, might be a good one to have. Stomach ulcers, just general aches and pains, type thing. So it links to your life plan for the present reincarnation and insists in fulfilling karmatic contracts. It is said to protect against destructive forces. It heightens intuition. If life has lost its sweetness, sunstone will help restore it. Removing energy drawing hooks from other people. So again, if you have somebody that's an energy vampire, might not be a bad idea. If you have hard time saying no to people, good stone to have. Similar crystals: quartzite, moonstone, labradorite, spectrolite. I don't think I pronounced that right. So that is the red and orange family. So the last one we're going to talk about is some pink ones. Some pink stones. So any pink stone is going to help you with some form of love. Whether that's loving you, yourself, or someone else, or like your relationships with other people. Because it kind of rules over your heart chakra. A lot of these will rule over some form of heart chakra of some form. But they also help with a lot of trauma. So the first one we're going to talk about kind of in unison with what we're going to talk about too is rose quartz. And then there's also another variation, smoky rose quartz. I just have normal rose quartz, but it helps with inducing love, reducing tension, overcoming trauma, sexual imbalances, grief, addiction. If you have any sexual trauma, it's not a bad one to have. It could help with fertility, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, But this is the stone known for unconditional love and infinite peace. Um, it's just like it's one of the first ones that people go to when they're trying to overcome trauma emotionally. It's gonna help you do that. Um, I really want to get the smoky one because it looks really cool. But it's going to be calming. It's going to help you kind of learn to love yourself again. A lot of these in this are quartz, and I don't want to talk about quartz. I guess the next one we can talk about is banderite. It looks like cellulite, which is why I picked this, but like a faint pink. It helps with allergies, chronic conditions, detoxifying your liver, gallbladder, weight gain, muscular and motor function. Danurite is named after Danbury, Connecticut, where it was first found. It is highly spiritual carrying stone, and it helps with lucid dreaming. It's a powerful healer for the heart. It helps facilitate deep change, leaving the past behind. It can act as a karmatic cleanser, so that's kind of cool. Next one we will talk about is Eudolite. EUDIALYTE. It looks really cool. That top one right there.
Ah, that is pretty cool.
I just picked ones that looked cool for this one because a lot of pink stones are quartz. It's a variation of a quartz, and we're not going to talk about strawberry quartz and watermelon quartz. We're not here for that. So this helps with energy depletion, forgiveness, jealousy, anger, guilt, optic nerve damage, brain waves. If you're having problems with confidence. This was discovered in 1819 in Greenland. It draws together former soul companions, throws light onto the reason for meeting. If you sleep or meditate with this stone, it will reveal the reason if you have met your soulmate. If they reject you, you'll find out that reason, which I thought was kind of cool. It helps heal depression and dissatisfaction with yourself, releasing negative emotions that lie beneath, promotes self-forgiveness, healthy self-love, and helps you learn from your mistakes. And the last one, which is one of the ones that I wear, it's one of the ones I keep in my rotation, is rhodonite. It looks absolutely beautiful. Rhodonite. It looks so pretty. The ones that I have. One of the reasons why I wear this is it helps with autoimmune diseases. Autoimmune disease runs in my family. Yay! Thank you, Dad. This also helps with inflammation of the joints, bone growth, hearing, confusion, doubt, confidence, multiple sclerosis, stomach issues. It's an emotional balancer that encourages the brotherhood of humanity. It helps heal your heart. It's very grounding, and it aids in achieving one's highest potential. It helps with forgiveness and reconciliation, especially if that's like you've been in a long-term abuse situation. Past life healing, it helps with betrayal and abandonment, clearing away emotional wounds and scars from the past. It helps promote unselfish self-love and forgiveness. It helps in taking back projections that blame a partner. It's a good first aid stone because it helps deal with the first wave of like shock and panic. A lot of times it happens in high stress like situations. It recognizes that revenge is self-destructive and insists in remaining calm and dangerous in upsetting situations. I couldn't find another one to talk about because these all are. Because like another one I have is Bustamite with Sugilite. It helps with migraines. And I have migraines. So that's
Ah,
one of the ones that I have. But it's got like a slew of stuff: hair, nails, motor function, eating disorders, pancreas, prostate, epilepsy, schizophrenia, spirituality, addiction, Asperger's.
hey, which one is that? Which
uh,
one is, which one is that?
it's got a slew of stuff. Fluid retention. Here, I'll send a picture of it to you.
No, no, I'm saying which.
I'm gonna say
Yeah,
because
yeah,
if
okay.
I forget when I show you stuff on this, it's backwards. And I'm like, what do we even show you things? Because it's backwards and you can't read it. So let me take a picture of it for you. Because it was something that oh, why do I do it that way? I'll do it this way. But it helps with like mental fatigue, despair, hostility, paranoia, learning disabilities, hair, skin, nails, like motor function, fluid retention, circulation. Like, I got
Okay.
the one. It's just like it wasn't. It was giving me all this. These all gave me the same information. I was just like, I liked this one, the Essentials Guide to Crystals, because it gives you like, if you can't find this type thing. Um, there's a lady on Instagram. Let me find her real quick. Rose City Quartz, I think is her name. Yeah, Rose City Quartz is her name on Instagram. She is a kind of a crystal Reiki healer type person. A lot of her videos on Instagram goes through different crystals, but also if something is too strong for you, she recommends other things. She does like a tons of videos on that. I highly recommend her. She's really knowledgeable. I love her videos. I would love to meet her in person. um, but yeah, she's super informative. Tons of videos on like if because that's another thing. Not all the crystals, not every crystal is made for everybody. If it doesn't make you feel good, recheck it. Make sure it's good for you. There's tons of in the Essentials Guide to Crystals. They give other ones that are very similar, but just be very aware of crystals, of how they affect your body, because some of them can be too strong. So she goes into her videos, like her Moldavite video. It's great. As someone who owns Moldavite. So, are you ready to do tarot? Do you want to go first? While
Yep.
I put all this stuff.
I will go
While I put
first. Dun dun
while I put this away for a second
dun.
and pull it up.
So I pulled the Prince of Wands, also known as the Knight of Wands. Did you pull the same thing?
No, I pulled the Ten
Okay.
of Wands. Sorry, continue.
So this is a very wandy hot thing. But this is also known as the Page of Wands or the Knight of Wands. No, sorry, this isn't the Page of Wands. Page of Wands is something different. Anyways, this is known as the Knight of Wands as well. While the Page of Wands marks the initial spark of the idea, the Knight of Wands shows the actual pursuit of that idea. When this card appears in a tarot reading, you are charging up with energy, passion, motivation, and enthusiasm. And you can channel that energy through your inspired action. You have a clear vision about what you want to create and are fulfilled by your passion and inspiration. You are now moving forward with leaps and bounds to turn your vision into reality. This card is a sign to go for it. You are bold and curious and willing to venture into unknown territories to further your mission and your dreams. You don't really care if danger is ahead. In fact, if it does, then it becomes all the more exciting and thrilling to you. Adventures like this light you up because you know growth and expansion are waiting on the other side. Be a pioneer and take calculated risks to reach new heights.
Okay.
So it's time to do the thing. Be creative.
Yeah. Yeah. So I pulled the 10 of Wands. So keywords: accomplishment, responsibility, and burden. At the 10 of Wands, we see accumulation of the passion that the Wands ignited in you. You faced so many challenges to get to this point. You've sacrificed much in order to get to this point. At the end of this journey that you are setting off on, you find yourself carrying all of the responsibility. To be at this point and to move ahead, you will have to learn how to bear this burden. Where the wands give you the spark of willpower, it left a bright blaze. From the foundation that is built, there is much work ahead. This card's lesson: I can differentiate between my responsibilities and those of others. So, what does it mean together? It's a
I would say that it's very much a work towards. It's time to work towards what you know you need to work towards.
yeah,
But it's important to know what's yours to work towards and what's not yours to work towards.
yeah,
You know, it's important to work to achieve your dreams, but also make sure you're only taking on what you should be taking on and don't take on what's other people's responsibility to take on because it's a team effort.
yeah,
It's not all about you. It's not all about only you, and it's not all up to you. It's everyone involved.
yes, yeah, yeah. I was like, I can't really add anything. I think you summed it up.
I think that's a cool little message.
Yeah, especially, well, this
Yeah,
is going
no,
to come
it's
out after the holiday season, but yeah, especially kind of at the end towards New Year's and stuff as we kind of go into the new year. It's kind of a great message. Reevaluate the burdens.
yeah. Make this the year you. Yeah, make this the year you live your dream and you do your best
Yeah.
life. But also make sure that you're only doing what you're supposed to do and what you're called to do. Don't feel obligated to do extra stuff just because someone else isn't doing it because that's their responsibility. And make sure you're taking time to take care of yourself and your needs.
Yes. Yep. So, as always, please rate, review, subscribe. Please tell a friend. We are on Facebook and Instagram where I do post pictures alongside the episodes. I've gotten back into that. Fell off that bandwagon. And I did with the wedding, I could not keep up.
You've had a lot going on.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, that's one of the goals for next year is to be more present on social media for the podcast because I suck at that. But anyway, if you have a book recommendation, a topic recommendation, please email us at thewaywardragons@gmail.com. Or if you've read one of the books that we've read and you want to talk about it, let us know. So, or if you have a question about one of the books that we read that you read too. As always, Thank you for listening. I'm Kelsey.
And Johnny, sorry, that's what you were waiting on.
I was like, that sounded a little rough.
I coughed, and I was just like, yeah. I coughed, and I was just
What
like,
are we waiting on? No, it's fine.
this is, as always.
Bye.
You've got some editing to do for this episode. Bye.